to you. Jim Rogers, global investor, joining us from Singapore this morning. Jim, what do you think will be the tone and tenor of this budget?
Arnab, as you know, there's an election next year, and like every election everywhere in the world throughout history, everybody's going to get a little present. And anybody who doesn't get a present will get one later. And the debt will go higher, the budget will not be balanced. They may say they're going to balance the budget, but it's going to get worse.
But Jim, you know, in an interview last year, you were quoted as saying that you were surprised that Narendra Modi got GST cleared without political roadblocks. Many people here were surprised that it had not been cleared for so long. How do you see GST shaping the Indian economy in years to come?
Keep the market. What I'm looking for, I would expect a 3.5% or 4% deficit more this year. I don't know if they'll announce that. They'll probably announce 3% because they always make it sound better than it is. So the deficit's going to get bigger. Things that would make me happy would be opening up the Indian economy finally, but they're not going to do that, and they're not going to listen to me.
Well, you know, one thing with the Modi government and with Mr. Narendra Modi is that you can't anticipate what you're going to get. But some people say this might not be a populist budget, and the Prime Minister did say when he was in Davos, he told Indian industrialists who were there that I'd like to see how many people, or how many among you are smiling and like me after the budget, and people were very concerned about it. I don't know what you think. What's your anticipation like in the global markets about whether this will be a populist budget before the elections?
Well, you should ask them, ask the global markets, but what I know is we all know there's an election coming, and Mr. Modi is like every other politician in the history of the world. He has to do things, he will do things to make people happy.
Okay, Jim, I'm going to be coming back to you. I think we haven't spoken about jobs yet. First of all, a little bit of an inside track with Abhishek. Abhishek, don't give away the full budget, but tell us what you think is on the government's mind. And what are the pressures that are playing on the government? Like there's the RSS also building pressure on the government on their own agenda. How do we see that shaping Mr. Jaitley's agenda this morning?
Well, obviously, Arnab, as you began with your introduction, that the fundamentals look good, the macros look good. So essentially, the dilemma before Mr. Jaitley would be consolidation versus a cornucopia for, you know, the constituents. So what I'm hearing is that there would be a balancing act that would be done. There would be some tax swaps given in the income tax category for the middle class, which is the poor constituency. There would be some relaxation connected with jobs when it comes to corporate tax, for example, and some other exemptions, for example, limited to specific economic zones. Mind you, Arnab, Pranab Da had introduced minimum alternate tax on SEZs, which had really created problems in the SEZs and led to decline in jobs. There is one option of kicking in jobs again in SEZs with some kind of exemptions in the MAT, for example. So all those issues are there on the table. As I said, consolidation is on the mind of the finance minister. Mind you, FRBM Act itself provides a caveat that in case of certain triggers which are difficult, for example, the demonetization GST that happened last year, certain slippage in fiscal deficit targets is allowed. And the fact that...
that's the BJP putting the pressure.
Last 3 years,